comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So yesterday, took the kids down to the park, and I tell you what, I don't see it often around the area I live, but it's just absolute fucking riffraff. We went to a park that had the Rugby League, like the local Rugby League team playing, and at this fucking park, it's like these little kids, like fucking, you're talking like 4, 5, 6-year-old kids running around. They're obviously like the kids of the local rugby league players. And local rugby league, I've never been a part of it. I lived in Melbourne. I grew up in Melbourne, so it's all AFL down there. And the local AFL is like, you get some fucking units down there. There's some fucking riffraff at the local AFL, but this was a whole other ball game. This was rat's tails, just as standard haircut. Rat's tails, fucking, it looked like 14-year-olds with tattoos and shit like that. But these little kids running around like 4 to 6, just swearing as much as I swear on the podcast. Their parents drinking in the park, watching the rugby league, and I was watching the rugby league. It was fun. It was just fat cunts just smashing into each other. Just unskilled fat cunts just fucking running in as hard as they can, swinging elbows, swearing. Cunts can't even catch really, but they can hit. I'd never seen it before. I'd never been down to a local rugby league game. Everyone down there looked like a version of Tai Tuivasa, the fucking Australian UFC fighter. Just units, huge units. And the kids were just running amok. And I kind of like it as well, because there wasn't really that many parents around, but there were loads of kids, and the kids were just looking after each other. Like, this little kid wanted to be pushed on the fucking swing, but obviously his parents were drunk somewhere. And some other like 14-year-old kid came over and started pushing him on the swing, and then he ran off and some other kid came and pushed him. They didn't know each other or anything. It was just kids helping each other out. I like it. The swearing, there was a lot of swearing. There was a lot of like, fuck, that jungle gym was fucking scary. It scared the absolute cunt out of me, those monkey bars. So you want your kids sort of a little bit involved there, because these kids, like, it helps build character, but you don't want to be like fully in. You don't want to be in the inner circle of any of these groups. You don't want your child growing up with these other children full time. I know. I grew up with riffraff. Trust me. It's good in doses. Like, if you can sort of like play footy with these guys, or like do 1 day a week extracurricular activity with some of these rat tail kids, that's cool. But if you have to be around them all the time and you can never leave, that's not cool, because then they start smoking darts at like 11. They're on the piss by the time they're 12. Fucking stealing cars at 13 or even 12. You know, you don't want to be involved. You just want to be like around. So that was a little bit of an eye-opener, getting down to the fucking local rugby league. And there's a difference as well. Rugby league is for bogans. There's rugby union as well, which is the rugby most popular around the world. But rugby union is a private boys' school thing. It's way more faggoty. Rugby league is like hardcore bogans. Like, union players are tough as fuck as well, but they're all private school kids, really. Rugby league in Australia is like one of the main ways to break out of the ghetto. It's like black people playing basketball in the NBA. It's your way out. It's one of the only ways people from the western suburbs of Sydney can move towards the eastern suburbs of Sydney. It's their get out of jail, literally. Anyway, fucking It's Monday. The boy Al didn't start his job today. He's meant to be starting tomorrow, but got a fucking call today and they said Wednesday's the day. So I got another day reprieve. So don't start till Wednesday now. But anyway, it's Monday and you know what that means. It's Ask Boyle time. So if you have a question you would like answered by one of the greatest minds of the generation, comedian, philosopher, tunnel waterproofer. Tunnel waterproofer. Oh, God. Le Boyle. Then head to my website, boylecomedy.com. There's a section there for Ask Boyle. You know what to do. Put in your details, ask your question, send it through. While you're there, fucking don't slow up on the fucking Patreon just because I got a fucking job. We need you fucking signing up so I can fucking stop eventually. Get on board. It's £1 a month. You got the Degenette Diaries. We've had 13 fucking episodes of the Degenette Diaries. Fucking banger after banger. You get to listen to like-minded people talk about their fucking shit. Being interviewed by the master interviewer. What? How long you been drinking? So was it hard? You drinking hard? Sounds sick. That's what it is, me asking the hard questions. Anyway, fucking while you're at my website, sign up to the Patreon. It's £1 a month. I haven't even adjusted for inflation yet. So jump on board. I'll see you over there. But for now, let's get to this week's Ask Boyle. So this week's Ask Boyle was sent in by Anonymous Degenette. And here it is. No wonder they wanted to stay anonymous after you hear this. I've been with my husband for 12 years. I've never had interest in another man until recently. I have a newish job and I love it. It's the best job I've ever had, but I have a huge crush on someone there. My marriage is in a bit of a rocky spot, but I have no intention of cheating. However, I literally cannot stop thinking about this other man. I don't want to be with him or anything. He's kind of a fuck boy, but we get along really well and I'm very, very sexually attracted to him. I can't tell my husband because he's very insecure, and me just saying I thought about another man would spiral him out and probably ruin our marriage. I don't really want to distance myself from crush. I'm hoping the attraction will fade and we can just be work friends. No idea if the attraction is mutual, but suspect it may be. I don't know. What do you think, Boy Al? What's the opinion? Well, Anonymous Degenette, you have come to the right place. Fuck. In this situation, you've just got to fucking quit your job and just run as far away as you possibly can. That's the only thing you can do. I don't know if women are like as sexually charged as men. Like, I know you guys love sex, I think. Like, still don't understand how fucking women have sex with dudes. It's something that just genuinely confuses me. It's got to be an evolutionary thing. Otherwise, you would never do it. But I don't think it's the same for women as men. Like, dick isn't like heroin to you, is it? Like pussy is to us. Like, pussy's like heroin. Like, the chances of getting addicted to it are too fucking high to even fucking dabble. I can imagine you could give up dick pretty easy. Yuck. Out of here. But let's just say in this hypothetical situation, it's the equivalent of like pussy to 99.999% of dudes. It's too dangerous to fuck with. You need to get away from it as quickly and as fast as possible. It's too dangerous. I remember years ago on the Oppression Chamber, I think it was, my friend John Dorr was saying, like, he just shuts every interaction with any girl off immediately. He doesn't entertain. He shields himself from it. He's like, he probably wouldn't do anything with anyone ever. This is way back before his missus now. But it's too much of a risk to even dabble. Even like, he's like, if anyone was flirting with it, he would just shut it off and walk away. And I'm like, that's retarded. But I think he's right. I think you just got to like stay the fuck away from all of it. My wife a few months ago was going through all the sports players and famous people that had been caught cheating on their wives, and it ended up being 100% of people. Every single one of them had had some sort of scandal. Everyone, except maybe Roger Federer. I think he's the only one. I'm not too sure about Nadal either, but you go through the list and it's chaos because it's like heroin. It's kryptonite. And the only way to protect yourself from kryptonite is stay the fuck away from kryptonite. And it seems like you have that mind bug that's in there. And that's in deep because that goes to your like animalistic fucking non-rational part of your brain. And it just digs in there. It gets its claws in there and just fucking take me on the desk. Take me in the washroom. Anywhere. Come up behind me. Jesus Christ. Don't let this fuckboy know either. You're finished if he finds out. Don't lead on at all. And whatever you do, don't fucking have even one drink around this dude. This is if you don't want to cheat. This is if you're fucking like not going to do anything. If you're going to cheat, then just get drunk with him and fuck him on your desk or something. Pretend it never happened. But either way, I think you're going to have to leave your job. At some point, at least get him fired first then, if you don't want to leave your job. Just trump up a sexual harassment charge on him. Say you caught him smelling your chair. This situation, I don't know if dudes can get through it, especially if the girls are like throwing out signals as well. Women have a different sort of willpower though. Like you don't get completely absorbed with your fucking Neanderthal brain. It's like the jerking off thing. Like when you're jerking off, anything triggers it. And once it's in your mind to jerk off, there's absolutely nothing you can do to get it out of the system besides actually just jerking off. Like if you get the idea to jerk off, but you have sex before you jerk off, you'll still jerk off like maybe a few hours afterwards. It's fucked. It all depends on what you want to do though. Like if you don't want to do it, then I think you got to stay the fuck away somehow. If your marriage is a little bit rocky and then there's this other guy that's just popped up on the scene, like, are you going to like fight through the rocky phase, or are you going to exacerbate the rocky phase just to give yourself an excuse to get slammed on the desk by this fuckboy? You're in a little bit of a pickle. I'm not sure if I would mention it to my husband either. I don't know how I would react if my wife came back and said, hey, there's this guy in the office. I'm not going to do anything with him, but I just cannot stop thinking about him fucking me in the kitchen at work. I just can't get it out of my head. I'd be like, oh, that's okay. Just maybe don't hang out in the kitchen alone with him then, but keep the job. Stay at work. That's cool. This is a tough one because, like, what happens if you do? You fuck him. Maybe you feel guilty. Get the marriage back on track. Maybe you're like, no, that was the best time I've been fucked in 12 years. The marriage falls apart. Fuckboy ditches ya. you leave the job, you get divorced, you're living in a 1-bedroom apartment now, you're on Tinder. And the Tinder dudes are pretty fucking disgusting. I don't know. There's a lot to fucking assess there. The best thing to do is just not let these things take root. If you can just avoid it at all cost, that's the best thing to do. If you can just avoid any attraction to any human being for the rest of your life, that's the best thing to do. That's the way to go. Anyway, I don't know if I've actually helped you there. I feel like if you stay at this job, you're definitely going to fuck this dude at some point. I'll be impressed if you don't. I don't think dick is the heroin that pussy is. Anyway, fucking let me know what happens. I'll be very interested to hear how it unfolds. Anyway, that'll do. I hope it helped. And I'll see you the fuck later.